Yo, what's good peeps? In this video, I'm going to run through 10 games that I feel deserve a sequel for the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series that never got a sequel before to my knowledge. Now, a hidden gem on the original Xbox, Kung Fu Chaos is certainly a game that I personally would love to see appear on the Xbox Series, as this was a great Xbox exclusive. Now, this was a ridiculously fun party game where you get to pick an actor who is making a whole bunch of Kung Fu movies. Now, while the game was fun to play on your own, it was the multiplayer aspect of this game that made it such an amazing experience. Now, while this one may be a bit of an obscure title, those who play this back on the original Xbox would have fun memories of just how fun this game was.
Number 9.
You need many things for a conviction, young Phelps.
To me, the concept behind LA Noire has always blown me away, and since I originally played this game back on the Xbox 360 close to 10 years ago, the impact of this game will always remain the same. This game might not be mentioned when people do look at maybe what the best top 5 Rockstar games of all time were, but to me this is certainly an underrated classic that I for one would love to see a sequel for.
You think your threats frighten me?
Answer the question!
Number 8.
Now, I remember when Cuphead was first shown, so many people was going crazy for this game. For good reasons too, the art style was unlike anything we've seen in a video game before, and while the game looked like a classic animated series, the run and gun gameplay along with the boss battles were hard as nails, but it was also a great deal of fun. Now, when you consider just how good the game looked on the previous generation, it would be awesome to see what kind of style they would go for with Cuphead 2 on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X or S.
I'm
Number
endorsing
7.
a new cola, kids. And this one isn't poisonous to anybody.
That we know of.
Now, for many gamers out there, the Simpsons Hit and Run is potentially still one of the best Simpson games ever made. Now, the game that was also released around the time of the Simpsons movie, in my opinion, was really fun too, but it never really lived up to the Hit and Run game that we experienced those many years ago. Now, this game was kind of like taking the Simpsons and putting them into a Grand Theft Auto style open world game. Granted, the game was split up into smaller sections of Springfield, but to me, a new game or even a remake could potentially give us the whole of Springfield to play in.
Marge, that black van is spying on us.
Oh, homie, you're so sexy when you're paranoid.
Oh, Mr. Bird.
Number 6.
Okay, so if you was really to ask me my personal opinion, I would always tell you that Diddy Kong Racing on the N64 is way better than Mario Kart 64. I actually do not even think that the comparison is really close. Rare and Nintendo struck gold with Diddy Kong Racing, and it does feature your standard arcade style mode where you win cups. It had a battle mode, but it also had an epic and challenging adventure mode. This game did get a re-release on the Nintendo DS many years ago, and to be honest, obviously based on the situation with Rare, I don't know whether this would appear on the Nintendo Switch or the Xbox One, given obviously the specific rights behind it. Also with Diddy Kong maybe being a Nintendo character at that, so I do guess a sequel is very highly unlikely, but this is definitely a game that I do feel does deserve some form of follow-up. It's pretty crazy to think that Skies of Arcadia was originally released on the Sega Dreamcast almost 20 years ago. It was a real niche title, one that many people considered one of the best RPGs on the Sega Dreamcast. The game got a little bit more mainstream attention when it was ported over to the Nintendo GameCube a few years later, but it still remains a game that is ignored by many and loved by a few. This is a very fun RPG that is set around a group of air pirates that fly around in airships. It is great stuff indeed, and I personally would imagine with the power of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, they could definitely get this looking as good as a Pixar movie.
Number 4.
This world is out of balance.
People love the majority of stuff that BioWare do put out, but in my personal opinion, this is definitely one of the top games that they have released in Jade Empire. Now, while it was re-released on Steam, I still do think that this awesome action RPG definitely deserves a full sequel release for this generation. The fact that the game is based on ancient Chinese mythology gave it a very unique kind of style and story, and even now, not many games are really based around this kind of setting.
You are on this path because you have been shaped.
Number 3.
Keeping it real, Lost Odyssey is arguably one of the best RPGs that was released for the Xbox 360. It was a fantastic exclusive and a game that many people considered one of the best RPGs of that console's generation. It has a tremendous story with compelling characters and many interesting plot twists. The gameplay in many ways felt like a return to the old style of JRPGs, which was not the norm when it was released. As it was Microsoft themselves that did publish this game, if they could get the team together again to make this an Xbox Series XS exclusive, it would definitely be a huge coup for the console.
Number 2.
Just floated through life. I know this is gonna.
Now, to this day, this is still a game that I look at as one of the best Xbox One games that I played during the previous gen selections of exclusive games. Now, for me, overall, Sunset Overdrive was an absolute delight and a game that I'm surprised remained a full Xbox One exclusive. This is an over-top and fast-paced third-person shooter where a soda turns people into maniacs. The game is a ton of fun to play, and if Microsoft could get a sequel out of this generation, it would definitely once again be another fantastic exclusive for the Xbox platform. In my honest opinion, not many games are just pure fun like this one, so it would be great to see Insomniac take another crack at it.
We won't, but we'll get some wicked respawn animations.
Now over there are the
Number
greasers.
1.
I bet you think I'm funny, don't you? A laughing stock?
Now, from the people at Rockstar, Bully was a tremendous game that saw us play as Jimmy, a kid with a tough spirit but a heart of gold. Having to navigate the daily life of this fancy school and having to deal with all kinds of high school cliques was a great experience for me personally. It is one of Rockstar's more interesting titles, and the first time that I did actually play this game was on the PS2, and I do believe it was called Canis Canem Edit, and from that moment, this game is definitely up there with some of the best games that I've played over the years. Of everyone who I've personally spoken over the years to about this particular game, no one has really had a bad word to say against it, but for some reason Rockstar has pretty much parked up the series. To be fair, they have re-released various editions of this game, whether it be on iOS or Android, or through backwards compatibility on the Xbox One or PS4, but I personally would love a full-blown sequel to be released on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. Anyway peeps, that was my quick run through of 10 games that I do feel do deserve a sequel. As I said at the start of the video, I'm not too sure as to whether any of these games have ever received a sequel before, but to my knowledge, I do feel that these are the worthy 10. Games such as Wolf Among Us is a game that I did originally have on the list, but recently it has been confirmed that there is a part 2 potentially on the way this year, or there will be more information coming out. So that's the reason why I held off actually leaving that game off the list, but that is yet again another game that would have definitely made this list if they didn't confirm a part 2 could potentially be on the way. Anyway peeps, do let me know your thoughts in the comments below about my 10 games that I do feel deserve a sequel. Is there any other games out there that you feel never received a sequel but is worthy to be on the PS5 or the Xbox Series X? As always, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to smash the like button, do hit the subscribe button, and until next video, we definitely say peace out peeps.
What a fuck up.
Yeah.
I meant you.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more cool urban gameplay videos.